asked to be your master of ceremonies today. So thank you all first for being here. Today is a solemn ceremony to recognize our U.S. Armed Forces members who lost their lives in service to their country and their loved ones. So what's our purpose? In his remarks on May 31st, U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin said the following: "We come together to remember, to renew our sense of common purpose, and to reach out to those who have long mourned and to those who newly grieve." I would add that we must simply remember them all. Not just on Memorial Day, but every day. Our service members die in all kinds of military operations, during training exercises, some by accidents, some by suicide. All of them took the same chance: wear America's colors into the field and serve our country. According to the Department of Defense, since September 11th, more than 16,000 service members have died in non-combat circumstances. This is more than twice the number that died in Iraq and Afghanistan. All of them made a commitment to serve for the greater good of the country, and as I mentioned earlier, we should remember them all. We ask with due respect that you now please silence your phone, as I've done with mine, and other electronic devices. On behalf of the Stanford Patriotic and Special Events Commission, the Stanford Veterans Park Partnership, and Stanford Mayor David Martin, I welcome you all to our 2021 Memorial Day ceremony. We would also like to recognize our VIP dignitaries and guests, and many of them are seated behind us here. They include U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal, Connecticut, and I ask that you hold your applause to the end, please. U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal, Connecticut Veterans Affairs Commissioner Thomas Saadi, Stanford Mayor David Martin, Connecticut Senator Pat Billy Miller, Connecticut Representative Caroline Simmons, and Connecticut Representative Corey Parrish. Thank you to all of you for your leadership and for being here today. We also have a Gold Star family member present, and I selected her out on purpose. Gloria Battinelli. Gloria, where are you? Okay. Her husband, Pat, is though. Thank you, Pat. We also have leadership here from our Stanford Public Schools. Dr. Tamu Lucero, she is the superintendent of schools. Mr. Ryan Feely, the director of finance, and Olympia Della Flora, the associate superintendent for school development. So thanks to all our educators for being here. The origins of Memorial Day can be traced back to the U.S. Civil War. It began as Decoration Day. On May 5th, 1868, General John Logan issued a proclamation calling for a Decoration Day to be observed annually and nationwide. General Logan was Commander-in-Chief of the Grand Army of the Republic, an organization of and for Union Civil War veterans. It was founded in Decatur, Illinois. Today is a solemn ceremony to honor the lives and to thank the loved ones of our men and women who lost their lives while serving or who lost their lives as a result of serving anywhere in the world. And we can never thank them enough for what they've done. We will now have a presentation of the colors and our national anthem. I would ask at the proper time that all those who can stand do so. lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Stand by for raising the flag. Following the raising of the flag, our national anthem will be sung by Sergeant First Class Joe Cavalido of the Connecticut Army National Guard.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We're blessed to have young men like Sergeant Cavalido and others who are so talented and so gifted. Thank you publicly for what you have done. Please, everyone, be seated. And thank you to our police and fire honor guard for their participation and service to so many. We know that one of your comrades has lost someone they love, and you all have to go and pay proper respects to them. Our prayers and good wishes and condolences go with all of you, your fellow comrade, and his family. Thank you again for all that you do for all of us. And could you please give him a round of applause? We'll now have our invocation, and I invite to the podium our police chaplain, John Mehl.
Let's pray together. Almighty God and gracious, loving Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity to honor the men and women who have sacrificed their lives over the last 245 years to obtain, secure, and to stabilize our liberty. Father, you charge us to give honor to whom honor is due. These men and women deserve far more honor than can be displayed and reflected in such a gathering. But Father, right now, because you understand the value of life that is sacrificed, we invoke your blessing and ask that you would accomplish your purposes in this gathering. Help us, Father, to remember and inspire us to follow their example. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain, and thanks to all those that serve with you for everything you do. We would next like to take a moment to remember some of those who lost their lives in service to our country, and I'm going to call out some names here. From World War II, we remember Patrick Burns, U.S. Army Air Corps, Papua New Guinea, August 31st, 1943. We remember Vincent Horan, U.S. Army Air Force, Wheeler Field, Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, December 7th, 1941. We remember James Dept, U.S. Marine Corps, Tarawa, November 1943. We remember Angelo De Masi, U.S. Army, Anzio, Italy, April 29th, 1944. We remember Edmund Kolka, U.S. Navy, lost at sea and declared dead in 1945. From the Vietnam War, we remember James Branson, U.S. Marine Corps, Quang Nam Province, Vietnam, September 9th, 1966. We remember Francis Fergie Connors, U.S. Army, Quang Ngai Province, Vietnam, June 11th, 1967. We remember Eugene Mansell III, U.S. Army, Rock Tra Stream, Vietnam, June 19th, 1968. We remember Thomas Morris, U.S. Army, Phu Yen Province, Vietnam, June 25th, 1968. We remember Kurt Jobst, U.S. Army, Tay Ninh, Vietnam, August 24th, 1968. We remember John Peter Pellegrino, U.S. Army, Bien Hoa Province, Vietnam, October 13th, 1968. We remember Michael Vagnone, U.S. Army, A Shar Valley, Vietnam, April 18th, 1970. We remember Charles Richards, U.S. Marine Corps, Phu Loc Village, Vietnam, February 4th, 1968. We remember James Pastor, U.S. Army, Quang Ngai Province, Vietnam, April 9th, 1970. We remember Andrew Peterson Keel, U.S. Army, Wardak Province, Afghanistan, Global War on Terror. We remember Wilfredo Perez Jr., U.S. Army, Bakuba, Iraq, July 26, 2003. And we remember Brian Bill, U.S. Navy SEAL, Tanji Valley, Wardak Province, Afghanistan, August 6, 2011. May their service and memories stay with us all, and we ask that you remember them and their families in your prayers. Remember that our enemies do not distinguish race, creed, class, political party, eye color, hair color, where you're from. They simply look our way and see an American and pull the trigger. I would ask that when we look at each other, we should see an American also. May we never, ever forget the price our fallen veterans and their loved ones paid to defend our freedom, our liberty, and justice for all of us. Next up will be our wreath ceremony. We will have a posting of a wreath on our Veterans Memorial by two members of the Stanford Patriotic and Special Events Commission. They are the SPEC President and Stanford Director of City Operations, Mark McGrath, an Air Force veteran and a retired colonel. He will be accompanied by the SPEC Secretary, Xavier Shellman, an Army veteran, currently a sergeant in the Connecticut National Guard. Please stand by. And please rise. Please be seated. Thank you to our bagpipe team and our SPEC members for their support in this event today. I would next like to begin the introduction of our guest speakers, and I will preview this by telling you there will be several. They will begin with U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal, who represents our great state of Connecticut. He will be followed by VA Commissioner Thomas Saadi, who will be followed by Mayor David Martin, and then a representative of the Stanford Veterans Park Partnership, Gold Star Mother Pat Parrott. Senator?
Thank you so much, Archie Elam. Thank you to the Veterans Park Partnership for this beautiful setting. You know, I wish that you were facing the other way so you could see that flag. It is just a wonderfully beautiful day, and that flag makes it so special. And I want to salute the Stanford Patriotic and Special Events Commission, which year after year puts on this parade and ceremony. Thank you to the city of Stamford for reminding us about the spirit of Memorial Day, which ought to be celebrated every day. It doesn't have to be on Memorial Day, and thank you for making this celebration possible rather than just canceling it, in fact, rescheduling it. I want to thank our state delegation. They won't be speaking, but Representative Simmons, Representative Paris, Representative Matt Blumenthal, and State Senator Miller, thank you so much for the great work that you do in Hartford. Stanford is one of the most veterans-minded cities in the entire state of Connecticut, and I'm very proud to call it my hometown. And most especially, thank you to the Gold Star families who are here today. You'll be hearing from Patricia Perry. That flag honors her son Brian Bill, and her husband Michael is here today. They are among my heroes and their inspirations. One of the reasons why I have introduced in Congress a measure called the Gold Star Families Forever stamp, a postage stamp, modeled on the Gold Star Moms Forever stamp. It was issued in 1947. It continued for a year or two, honoring Gold Star moms, and then for reasons I have never been able to understand, it was discontinued. I think we ought to reinstate the Gold Star Families Congressional Stamp Act. But of course, honoring the fallen is about more than just words, more than just rhetoric. It's about honoring them with action. And I think we ought to honor the living with action. Action to make our Veterans Affairs Administration function better. I'm on the Veterans Affairs Committee, and we have a new administration. I think they can do better on education, on job training, skill training, employment, and yes, on healthcare. Honoring with action is something that we remember on Memorial Day. And finally, you know, someone once said that we all die twice. We die first when we take our last breath, but we die again when we are forgotten. This ceremony, this day, assures that our heroes will never be forgotten. Thank you for joining in this day and this celebration. God bless you. God bless our great country.
Some of you may not know, Senator Blumenthal is a former Marine. Next up will be Veterans Affairs Commissioner Tom Saadi.
Thank you, Archie. Thank you for your service to country, your service to community, your continued service to our brother and sister veterans. Good afternoon, Mayor Martin, Senator Blumenthal, state, local officials, guests, and most importantly, veterans and Gold Star family members. Thank you for allowing me to be part of this ceremony to memorialize those men and women who fell in service to our country. It's a privilege to serve as Commissioner of the State Department of Veterans Affairs, an agency with that noble mission of serving those who have served. As it is only because of those who have served and those who continue to serve in the armed forces that we are able to gather here today in this free and democratic nation. And it is our flag the only flag that has officially stood for this nation since June 14th, 1777. A nation created by and sustained by the service of men and women in their armed forces for nearly 250 years. Colors on our flag are not just colors on cloth. The stars and stripes represent service and sacrifice, with many making the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, so that not only we can live free, but literally hundreds of millions of people across the globe being able to live free. Something we must all ensure in our daily life that this nation never forgets. You, the veterans who are here today, are part of a rich military tradition. But unlike the military histories of other countries, our American military tradition is not one of conquest for the sake of glory, but one of fighting for freedom. The freedom of 13 colonies in the fight to keep them free from reconquest. The fight to free an enslaved people in our own nation in the Civil War and to keep our Union whole. We fought in World War I to make the world safe for democracy, and then a mere generation later in World War II to free Europe, Africa, and Asia and the Pacific from the tyranny of Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan and their allies. In Korea and in Vietnam, we aided a desperate people in the struggle against communist aggression. Throughout the Cold War, facing off against Soviet Russia and the Eastern Bloc. And since then, with hundreds of thousands of Americans deploying to troubled spots, troubled lands in security, stability, and combat operations around the globe. For nearly 2.5 centuries, American men and women have answered that call, raised their right hand, and took that oath. You are all here today because you understand the meaning of service to country, service to community. However, as you've heard before and will continue to hear because it bears repeating, for too many Americans, the passage of Memorial Day weekend served as that unofficial kickoff of summer. That great time of pool parties and family gatherings, barbecues and beach events. While those are all wonderful, we must remind others that those things are only possible because of those who served and those who made that ultimate sacrifice of their lives on the battlefields, in the skies, on and under the seas, across the globe, so that the principles of freedom may endure in this nation. I believe that the best way that we can honor the fallen, serve their legacy, and honor the families that they left behind is by preserving this great democracy and ensuring that the freedom that it provides, as Archie said, is for all Americans, no matter one's color, no matter their ethnic background, no matter their faith, their country of origin, or their orientation. Because there is only one color that matters, and there is one faith that binds us all. The color that matters is red, the color of the blood that flows through all our veins, the color of the blood shed by those who fell in service to this country. And that common faith is patriotism that binds us all. But not a patriotism that consists of just flying the flag and chanting patriotic slogans, but a patriotism that manifests itself in service to country, service to community, and ensuring that that service is equal for all Americans. We honor the men and women who gave that last full measure of resolve, as Lincoln said, on the mantle of freedom, by being good stewards of the democracy that they have entrusted to us with their lives. More than 1 million Americans making that ultimate sacrifice in our 250-year history. And I include among the fallen not only those who fell while in uniform, but those who returned home with those visible and invisible wounds of war, who may have fallen months or years later from cancer and other illnesses that racked their bodies due to chemical exposure, by suicide brought on through their service, who suffered post-traumatic stress disorder, traumatic brain injury, and a host of other illnesses that continue to take our veterans' lives to this day. They also are among those who have fallen in service to country. So let us honor the legacy of those who fell while in uniform, those who have fallen afterwards, by ensuring that we continue to support our veterans, support their families, support the families of the fallen, and ensure that we take this democracy that they have entrusted to us and hand it off to the next generation stronger than we found it, so that our children and grandchildren can reap the benefit, the fruit of the fallen who shed their blood in service for this country. Let us remember the fallen today and each and every day. Let us never forget their names, the loved ones that they leave behind. And while that day has passed, I do wish you not a happy, but a reflective Memorial Day. May God bless you, the United States of America, and all our men and women who have served, who continue to serve, and who will serve in the future. Thank you.
Our next speaker will be someone I think is familiar to many of us. He is our humble and honorable Mayor, David Martin.
Sergeant Cavalido, could you come forward again, please? Would you do us the favor of singing that one line that I've spoken to you about?
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Doesn't he do a great job? Thank you, Joe. That's the line that always gives me goosebumps every time. And it could be at a Red Sox and Yankees game, or it could be at West Hill versus Brian McMahon. Either way, they sing that line, it just gets me. When I was a child, I was confused by that line. Maybe that's why it sticks out of my mind so much. I thought they were asking a question. Does the flag still wave? No, there's no question mark when you read the text. Sometimes they put an exclamation mark. It's a poetic Old English way of saying, yes, that flag still waves. It gets me every time. It strikes me, somewhat sadly, that so many people don't ever know what has happened in order for things that we enjoy every day to be around us. They forget, or they never knew. I don't know, we've got the water feature, it's working fine. I don't know how it happened. We've got a beautiful park here. It's changed so much, they don't really know. And they forget so much that throughout our entire history, there are other nations and other individuals who would take everything we cherish away from us. They would take away our freedom of speech. They would take away our right to worship our Creator as we choose. They would take away our very democracy. And somehow, those forces have been pushed back. And they've been pushed back by the people in our military who've protected this flag and the country for which it stands. And we remember those who lost their lives by putting their names on monuments. And those that have come back, who they were comrades, remember them as well. But I believe that for all that we say and all that we do in our attempt to honor them, they are the ones who have honored us. For they have given everything so that we may continue to live in a land of freedom. And they were heroes before their lives were taken away from them. They were heroes because they came and went to go and defend this country and our freedoms, even in the face of possible loss. And all of those of you who have served and come back, and all of those who are serving now, and all of those who are yet to serve, they remain our heroes. And this is the day that we set aside to remember those who've fallen, but know that they are heroes defending the country for which that flag stands. So let us, the living, be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave their last full measure of devotion. Great words. Let us all do that in furtherance of the democracy and the freedoms that we so enjoy. We honor them not by just ceremonies, but by continuing that cause for which they gave their last measure. Thank you again for all that have served and all that are serving now and all that will serve. Thank you very much.
Next up will be a representative of the Stanford Veterans Park Partnership. And she's a special person, Pat Perry. She's actually the Energizer Bunny behind all of what you see here today, and is the mother of a distinguished Navy SEAL that we also honor, Pat Perry.
Welcome to all of you, and thank you to all of our honored guests who are here and came out for this very important day. On behalf of the Stanford Veterans Park Partnership, I welcome you, and we're sorry that Rick Redness, our fearsome leader, could not be here today. We started over 8 years ago in talking about renovations in Veterans Park. And the first committee that we put together we called VPAC, Veterans Park Ad Hoc Committee. And we worked tirelessly with the city and with RFPs and companies and different proposals for what to do. We did form the Stanford Veterans Park Partnership, a 501c3, because we are partners with the city in the renovations and had to raise money. We are so pleased with what is happening here in Veterans Park, but it is not over. Unfortunately, a good portion of what was planned for today had to be postponed. We are creating a Gold Star Family Monument, and we are going to have a very special ceremony when it is completed and we unveil it. I am the person who has the names of the Gold Star families that we know about right now, but if there are others, please let us know. We want you to be involved in this. I will be contacting you at a future date. Aside from that, I want to thank Tony Pavia, Jimmy Sparrow, and Dan Burke, who helped pull together names of those who had fallen. Chris Munger was part of the Veterans Park Partnership, was here early and had to leave. Mike Mulgano over here, now in the wheelchair, is the man who handles all of the pavers in the park. And if you've ordered a paver, you've dealt with him. So we thank him. I want to also pay special tribute to our honorary parade marshal, Major Cortland Mehl, retired, who is too ill to be with us today. He is a nephew of Edmund Kulka, and we do have representatives of the Kulka Post with us today. So those are my words. Thank you. Please stay tuned. We have great plans. There is more work to be done. And in fact, we have an AV system that will be going in that's not complete yet. So we won't have to rely on the speakers that we're using here now. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you, Pat. And thank you to all of our speakers for being here today and for their remarks. I think moments when you have folks like that here is an opportunity for all of us to expand our wisdom and our vision. Sometimes just a little bit, but sometimes a little bit is all it takes. So thanks again to our speakers. We will next have a presentation to someone who I rank as one of Stanford's quiet heroes. And I'm going to let the folks who will drive that train come on up here. Stanford Veterans Council Commander Steve Fisher, Stanford Veterans of Foreign Wars Commander Alan Gerard, and Stanford Veterans of Foreign Wars Senior Vice Commander Tom Finn. Yeah. We are making a presentation to this quiet, distinguished gentleman coming to our stage. His name is Mike Doyle. He runs the Stanford Florist, but he does a lot more. For years, I'm saying years, he has been a friend, supporter, and amazing personality to veterans and their families across this city. So in his honor, the Stanford Veterans Council makes the following presentation. On behalf of the Stanford Veterans Council and the City of Stanford, this plaque is presented to Mike Doyle for all your years of service above and beyond the call of duty, given this day, May 30th, 2021, in the City of Stanford. Thank you, sir.
Mike, definitely from all the veterans, thanks for what you do, what Springdale Florist does for us. The beautiful wreath behind us, donated by Springdale Florist. He also had on Memorial Day 2 more. There's wreaths all over the city. He does wreaths and flowers for all our veterans events, all for free. The support of Mike Doyle and his family and the Springdale Florists are truly appreciated. Thank you, Mike.
I didn't know I was going to be up here. Thank you. It was my privilege to be with you. I'm a veteran, but I'm not a war veteran, and I appreciate everything that these guys did that were on the front lines. Brian Bill was a personal friend of mine, and my heart still aches for his loss. Through the energy and whatever I could do for veterans, I did it. I took them to the VA hospital. I did whatever it takes. And we're all lucky to be in this country. I don't have much to say because I don't know what to. Anyway, God bless everybody that's here. Thank you.
I love it when a good guy wins. I love it. Next up for our closing prayer will be Rabbi Schechter.
We have gathered to honor those who have served our country. They were called to duty, most often separated from their family, risking their lives and health in order to protect us and our community. Some did not return and rest in far-off lands or in hallowed ground here in our beloved homeland. Great God of us all, we are so grateful that on this beautiful day, we have had the opportunity to gather as brothers and sisters of our city. We ask for your blessing as we go from this spot, sacred to us in our community. We pray that our country will be blessed with peace, health, prosperity, liberty, and equal justice for all. God bless the United States of America. Amen.
We will now have our gun salute and taps. I will warn those in attendance that there will be loud noises, and I would ask that we please rise for the start of this ceremony. Taps will be played by Mr. Patrick Grant of West Hill High School. I want to thank our Honor Guard and our gun team for their excellent work today. I would also like to add a special thanks and some recognition for Patrick. This talented and patriotic young man is about to graduate West Hill High School and head off to college in Utah. Please give him a round of applause. With the birthday of the United States Army, our nation's oldest service, and Flag Day coming on Monday, June 14th, we thought it appropriate to recognize both in song. We will next have the song God Bless America, sung by Sergeant First Class Joe Cavalido, Connecticut Army National Guard. Sergeant Cavalido.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Boy, if I could only carry a tune like that one. I'm the guy that makes dogs howl and small kids cry. In our approach to closing, first I'd like to thank Sergeant Cavalido for his rendition. We'd also like to say thank you to a number of folks that helped make all this happen. We'd like to thank the mayor for sponsoring this event, the Stanford Patriotic and Special Events Commission for their hard work in organizing this. We want to say thank you to all our VIPs and elected officials. The hard work they do behind the scenes makes a lot of things possible. I want to say thank you to our special guests for attending. Among them, this quiet gentleman to my rear, Major General Bouchard, one of Stanford's own Special Forces officer. Sir, you want to say something? Good. He's another one of those quiet heroes, and he's holding down a big-time job in Washington, D.C. in mobilization memory service. I want to say thanks to the Veterans Park Partnership, our Veterans Council, Springdale Florist, our Stanford Police and Fire Honor Guard, our Fife and Drum Corps Rection Building, who also helps us with this park. Our live stream guy, y'all are on the internet somewhere. Stanford CERT team, Backyard Humanitarians, a volunteer group that does a lot of good for a lot of folks. Our trumpeter again, Patrick Grant, good luck in college, sir. We're gonna all be cheering for you. We'd also like to thank Stanford Town Center and our photographer, Bernie Weiss, Nelson Santos, and Dan Inco, who are streaming and recording our ceremony, and a lot of other quiet heroes who keep this place clean and secure and who actually make the water fountain work and stuff like that. We wouldn't be here without all of them. I'd like to take a moment for a special salute to one of Stanford's own. He's the son of a World War II veteran. He is the nephew of a World War II aviator. He is an Eagle Scout. He is a graduate of Catholic High School and Duquesne University. He is an Army Logistics and Transportation Officer. He is a veteran of Operations Desert Shield and Desert Storm. He is also a member of the American Legion and the commander of Stanford's Catholic War Veterans and a member of the Stanford Veterans Council. So I'd like to offer our special salute to a quiet hero, Major Cortland Mehl, U.S. Army retired. We want to thank you for your valor, fidelity, and faithful service to our country. Finally, I'd like to say thank you to my fellow veterans. Some of them are here to my left. They are a gang of wise men and women, all of them. Finally, I would like to say thanks to all of you sitting out there today and your family and friends for your goodwill, for your energy, for your support, and for your care. That's what it takes to make this work. So with that, all our participants and assembled units are dismissed. This concludes our ceremony, and thank you all for coming. I would ask that all of our veterans, whether you're out there or behind me, fall in right here. Oh, thank you all for coming.
Yes, maybe.